Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is prepare your block, this guy, for your first printing. And what that means is you're gonna carve out everything that's white. For most of you, that's just gonna be your moon. But then I wanna add a second step and really get you guys thinking. Where could you also add texture? So think about what might feel different when you look at your design. So for me, that meant the tree. A tree is rough. It's not gonna be completely black. So I took my carving tool and very gently carved out little tiny pieces to make it look like my tree is rough. Now I did this on my tree, however, yours might be in a different area. For example, if you have a house sitting on a hill, which a lot of you do, the grass could be an opportunity to add a place with texture. All right, even animals. Like I did it a little bit on my owl, but if you have a wolf, this is a great opportunity and this is a great tool to easily add little texture that could be, say, its fur. Okay, so once you have at least one place with texture in it and your area that's white completely carved out, you're ready to print. And I'll show you that next. Okay, so I'm ready to print. Now I'm gonna show you the tools at your tables. Or not at your table, actually it's at the printing station. And I want these tools to stay at the printing station. So over here at the printing station, I have a roller. These rollers, the light ones, are the ones I use in the ink. I also have trays. This is what your ink is gonna go on. I have what's called a roller that will be a brayer. What a brayer is it doesn't ever touch the ink. It only touches the back of your paper. So this should not ever have black or orange ink on it. And then of course I have the ink. I have red and I have yellow, which of course is gonna make orange. Now, I have also experienced a wardrobe change. Not because I want to be fashionable, but because I know that this stuff is sticky, it's messy, and it stains. So I protected my clothes with a paint shirt. Now, exciting part. The first thing you're gonna do is pick up from the material table a paper. This paper is special. It's a little thicker than regular drawing paper, and it picks up the ink easier than just regular drawing paper would. So make sure you get it from there. Then I'm going to what's called register my print. This simply means that I want to make sure when I put it down, it will be in the middle of my paper. I'm going to then mark on my paper with a pencil the corners here, so that when I lay it down with ink, I can line it up with the markings that I've made, and it's going to be centered on my paper. Okay, so I have my registration marks here in the middle of my paper. I did mine dark, do yours light, and do it in pencil. All right, next, the ink. So I'm gonna take either a tray that's already have ink on it, which there probably will be when you get there, or if you're the first one over there, you might have to put the ink on. I put a little bit of red. Next to it, I put a little bit of yellow. This is about how much you start with. Don't start with too much, because if you get too much ink on your block, it will sink into your lines and make your print look really messy. So now I'm gonna roll it out. Again, I'm using the light colored rollers, not the black. I want to slowly overlap my orange and my yellow. And if I do it the right way, I might get a cool looking fade, almost like it really is a sunset. You can start to see that happen. The way it looks on my brayer is how it's gonna look on my block. So I wanna make this look the way that I want. So it's a little too red over here for me. So I'm gonna come over here to the yellow, get more yellow on it. Okay, I'm liking that. It's pretty sunset-like. Now I take it and I don't press hard because again, I don't want it to sink into these little lines here because I want those to be white. Which side do I want yellow? Bottom. All right, so it's almost ready. However, I need to keep adding ink to it. I would say repeat this process at least 2 to 3 times to make sure that this has enough ink on it and then it gets enough ink on your paper. I'll show you it when it's ready. All right, cool. So this is what you want it to look like. It's not sinking into my lines. It's not touching any of this stuff because I want it to stay white, but it's covering all the gray and all the Sharpie that was on there. Now next, I put it on my paper. So this is the trickiest part because you have to think very carefully and do this slowly. Try and get it, oops, see, it's hard. It's harder than you think. I like to kind of hold it by its edge, stand over it to make sure it's as close as I can get it to those corners that I marked. All right, once it touches the paper, do not move it around because you're gonna smear it. So even if it's not perfectly in your corners when you put it on there the first time, oh well, you'll live, it'll be okay. But if you pick it up and try and reposition it, it will definitely ruin it, so don't do that. Now, I'm gonna flip it over. And if I just peeled this off, you wouldn't see very much of the orange and red. This next step is called burnishing. So I'm gonna take this roller, the one that doesn't have ink on it and it's black, and I'm gonna use my muscles. And as best I can, press on top of it. Then I slowly peel it up. Whew. And I see my image. I'm not done because I'm going to put more ink on this and print 3 more papers. I am going to have a total of 4, counting this one.